Alright. Are we live? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Good to know. Now let's do this. Let's let people get in here. Hey, can you guys hear me good? This is the worst time of day for me to stream. Guys, look at what I'm looking into. Can you see this? Let me show you. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to today's stream. Oh, that's right. Hey guys, welcome to today's stream. Problem solved. Or I could just lean back. Hi from Dora, Alabama. What is going on? Just call it Dorabama. I'm in a car, but I'm here. Good to know. We're live. Woo! Correct. Correct. We got some stuff to talk about today. Believe it or not. Can you believe that? Does everything look okay on both sides? Man. Look at this system. Wait, I gotta get my whistle away. Right. Impressive, huh? Very pretty. Very pretty. This storm is also what's keeping Imelda from making a landfall. That is like one of the most symmetrical hurricanes I've ever seen. When's our first cooldown expected? We're still seeing now October 7th to October 9th. It got pushed back from the beginning of October. You know, but we need to wait. We need to let that ridge build up over Alaska, but it's coming. He's on Paris Island. Where's that? I actually don't know where that is. Oh my gosh, the sun! Is it Paris with 2 R's? I can't find Paris Island. Or is it 1 R? Did you just spell it wrong? Oh, I mean, he's good. He's good. Look at the new track. I mean, listen. This is something I've never seen. I don't think anyone's ever seen. I don't think this scenario's ever happened with the technology we have these days. But why did the models get us wrong? Why did everyone get it so wrong? Well, our storm was supposed to go like this. But it's a very complicated steering pattern, as I talked about a few days ago. This hurricane out here, Hurricane Humberto, decided to get extremely powerful, extremely large, and go farther west than projected. And what does that do? Well, now Humberto is acting like a magnet once it gets next to Imelda and is yanking it out to the east. Humberto is saving Imelda from making a landfall, stopping Imelda from making a landfall. Let me turn down the music a little bit. Pretty incredible situation. Pretty incredible situation. Do I think they will fuse? I don't think they're going to get close enough to fuse. If they got a little closer, they would probably Fujiwara and become a much larger system. Typically, when a Fujiwara occurs between 2 low pressure systems, though, or at least between 2 tropical cyclones, they don't get stronger, but they get much bigger, and then they can re-strengthen. But the interaction between 2 storms weakens them, but they grow in size, and then eventually they'll re-strengthen. But they're gonna get close enough for Humberto to pull Imelda off into sea, but it's gonna start to pull it and try to combine, but they're gonna be too far away from each other. There's a chance they combine, but It's more just it's getting close enough to pull it. I don't think we're going to see the full Fujiwara effect happen here. It's possible, though. Literally, Humberto saves the day. Like, 100%. Look at my streaming situation right now. Can someone clip this? This is why I can't stream at this time. Okay? Although, I live in Minnesota, and I'm pretty sure during wintertime it's dark at like 4:30. So I probably won't have this issue anymore. God. God, my eyes. No, I just moved into this house. We don't have blinds yet. We won't have blinds. We ordered our blinds. We ordered like custom blinds, and they don't get here until literally the beginning of November. So like I have another 6 weeks of no blinds. Because we have a lot of windows in this house. We have like 25 to 30 windows. And we were like, let's just order custom blinds instead of attaching blinds to every single window. But they have to order the material. So yes, I have 6 more weeks of no blinds. It's torture. There's no blinds in my freaking bedroom. Well, I bought like temporary blinds there. I could put temporary blinds here, I guess, but they wouldn't block out direct sunlight. But I'm never on my computer at this time of day. It's just because it's Sunday. I mean, I usually stream when the sun's down. But I'm just kind of waiting. You know? I live in Florida. Wait, Hallie, how do you know that? What? No, listen, I live in Metro Minneapolis. I live in Florida. I'm just finding this out. There's a hurricane coming. How'd you not know? There's a tropical storm. There's a tropical storm like 75 miles off the coast of Florida. No one told you? Okay, 180 miles from the center. But the outer bands are moving into Port St. Lucie. I did. All right, don't dox me. Will it hit? No. Listen, they completely changed the path on this thing because Humberto is larger, stronger, and closer than it was supposed to be. And so this low pressure, I'll show you. I'm going to show you this, okay? I'm going to show you this. I know you're going to see a black screen for a second. Forgive me. Let me pull it up for you. I'm going to show you what's happening. Why is this not going to make a landfall out of nowhere now? This is why. Watch what happens.
New information.
As these storms move up to the north and get closer to each other. Oh, you see what's happening here? You see how these are look at this. Look at our isobars. Look, they get close to each other, and what does the storm out to the east do? It begins to pull Imelda. Look, it pulls Imelda away. You see that? Look, it pulls Imelda away from the coast. This is something that is extremely rare. I've never seen it happen in my lifetime. Another hurricane, stopping another hurricane from making landfall right before it makes landfall and yanking it away from the coast. But you can watch it here, and it pulls it away. This interaction is literally sparing the southeast coast from a hurricane making landfall, stalling out, and dropping catastrophic rainfall. What's going on, Tufts? Don't message that person. It's a spam. Thank you. So, no, it looks like... I mean, no one's really going to take a direct impact from this thing. We do have Tropical Storm. We do have... Tropical Storm watches out along the east coast of Florida. Here's our wind speed probabilities. We could see Tropical Storm force winds in Florida and potentially along the coast of North Carolina and Georgia. And then we can see here... they have tropical storm warnings up in the Bahamas. Last I saw, they had a tropical storm watch up along the eastern coast of Florida. It looks like they may have just taken that away. Hi, Fisher. Looks like they may have just taken that away. God, it is hot in here when the sun's beaming in here too, I swear. Yeah, okay, so they have the tropical storm warnings in the Bahamas, though. Yeah, I mean, really fantastic news. Except for people who wanted to get some days off school. Are we going to end up going a full season without a direct hit on the mainland? Well, we did have a tropical storm make landfall already this year in the United States. But maybe without a hurricane. But listen, October is still very active typically. You have the September and October. We're not even in October yet. So, we have another 2 full months of hurricane season. So it's looking good with this storm being yanked away, but we still gotta watch out here in the tropics. And I've said it a million times, but we're entering a weak La Nina. So the Caribbean and Gulf, the shear is really weakening. So I'm a little bit concerned with the homegrown storm in the Gulf or the Caribbean in October. Are the storms affecting each other? They are. Look what happens as they move north. The storm to the right, out to the east, pulls the storm to the west, the storm to the left there, and it yanks it away from shore. The low pressure center basically acts like a magnet and pulls it away from shore. Now it's not just Humberto. There's a high up here that's kind of helping to shove this, but Humberto's doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. So good news on that. I posted a little bit of something today about some new snowfall projections. Sorry, I gotta like do this from back here so I'm not blinded by the light. Dan said, "Can I ask a question? Going to a wedding in Fort Myers this upcoming weekend. Any concern?" No concern. You should be good. Yeah, I posted, guys. I want to show you something. Who likes snow here? Listen, if you don't know by now that we're expecting a below average temperature-wise winter in America this year, in the United States, I should say, and potentially above average snowfall, then you haven't been paying attention. Then you don't probably watch my channel or my videos.
Has been updated.
We're going to be in a weak La Nina in a couple weeks. I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Weak La Ninas with around 70 to 80% confidence typically mean a cooler than average United States. That's just because, if you look at analogs, 7 out of 10 of them, if you look at all the weak La Ninas we've had in recorded history over the last 100 years, 7 out of 10 times, you're going to see like most of these states below average for the winter. Sometimes even into the southwest, sometimes like this. The only area that we usually don't see below average in a weak La Nina is the southeast. So, but again, there's a 20 to 30% chance, 20 to 30%, that it's not a below average winter. Okay, I'm just giving you the numbers. The numbers are the facts. The analogs are what they are. You have some other stuff I would say a weak El Nino. It's much harder to tell what your winter is going to be like temperature-wise. Confidence isn't high. But because we're entering the weak La Nina on the front side of winter and then moving back into a neutral on the back side of winter, a lot of these seasonal, monthly, extended models and forecasts and outlooks are expecting colder, snowier conditions on the front end of winter, November, December, January, and then February, March, moving into a drier, more mild winter. But this right here is just, don't take this at face value, okay? This is not exactly where snow is going to fall. But this kind of aligns with the thought that it's going to be a colder start to winter. As we get into mid-October and that weak La Nina sets up, we're expecting a below-average November and a below-average December. This is where the European model, anywhere above this line, this is where the European model thinks we could see snow before November 13th. Which, that would be crazy if we saw it this far down. I would pay more attention to, this line right here. I'd pay more attention to above that northern line. And that'd be a lot, that would be an above average start to the season. Again, this is an extended look on the European. This isn't going to happen like this. But again, you could see why. Like, there's no surprise at seeing this because of the setup we're going into. I explained it in my video, but I'll explain it again really quickly. It's pretty simple concept here. It's pretty simple concept. If we take a look at our OISST, let's go into the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Okay? And let's go on our temperature anomalies. What's happening out here? These waters are still well below average along the equatorial Pacific and in the ENSO 3.4 region. So our jet stream that's typically pulling down here, our subtropical jet, it's weakening. It's already weakening, and it's being shoved up to the north like this. It's going up to the north. And there's a couple things to this. Let's look at the North Central Pacific. No, we don't want the North Central Pacific. We could go Pacific Basin, I guess. No, that has it too far. There we go. Here's the Northern Pacific. Now, we do have some cooling up here to the south of Alaska. That's because we've had these warm waters, and we've had low pressure system after low pressure system, storm system after storm system move through here. So it's pulling a lot of that above average water off the surface of the ocean. We're getting upwelling, and we're getting cool water from beneath it filling in. But there's plenty of warm water. This is a very warm NPO still. With our jet stream shifting up here, like this is how our jet stream's supposed to set up. And this warm, it's not really that warm, it's the North Pacific, but above average pocket of water. Almost every model's expecting a above average storm system. So, you know, say you typically get 1 or 2 big storm systems a month. We could get 4 or 5 with this type of setup. And then if we were to go over and look, let's just go over into, let's do this. Can I just look at the globe, please? Okay. Going into North America, you know, weak La Nina, you're going to have a jet stream set up something like this. It's not going to be exactly like this, but it's going to be something like this. Cool air is going to be forced down into the plains, into the Midwest, and then it's going to ride up into New England. Now, every now and then, one of these low pressure systems, big storm systems, is going to shove that jet stream down a little more because it's going to be amplified. And then our jet stream is suddenly going to look like this. And when this happens, that's when you get nor'easters. Big snow up and down along the East Coast. Philly, New York City. I know everyone wants that snow out there. But they've been in a drought. So this is the setup where you can get a big nor'easter or 2 this year. Maybe 3. I don't know. Maybe none. You don't really know. But this is the setup where you can get them. And also with this happening in the beginning of winter, and this setting up again in November, December, through early January, a lot of models are seeing extended periods of time of this cold air sinking, and what we call like above average Alberta clippers. So lots of clipper snow systems pushing through here. So we may not have a mega snowstorm, you know, in the beginning of the season, but you know, what's being projected is just a lot of average snowstorms, a lot of clippers. So you could get just a lot of days with snow. Again, this is an outlook. This is what we're seeing. But you look at the analogs, there's one thing they are confident in. It's the cold air. The moisture is harder for these things to predict. The moisture is hard. You know, we've seen weak La Ninas where you're really dry up here, especially in the upper Midwest and northern plains, because you get a cold core high. It's so cold that we're not getting any convection up here. No clouds forming, and it's a frozen desert. It's a cold desert. There's no moisture in the air because it's so cold. But yes, weak La Nina shoving our jet stream up, and then our warm MPO amplifying our storms in here. There's something else that's really important here. Sea ice is always important to talk about. Let's go to... Can I just look at the globe, please? Let's look at this. Well, this was last year's snowfall. By the way, anyone in chat in Charlotte, North Carolina?
A new flash flood warning.
Do I have anyone in here from Charlotte? Because I want to point something really funny out to you. Nope, no one Charlotte. Wait, what did Sean say? Yep, we have Tropical Storm Imelda. It did form, yep. Look at upstate South Carolina and the Charlotte area. Look at the hole. Everyone has snow around you except for you. They got unlucky. Anyways, but this is what I want to show you guys. Let's take a look at some, I want to go to our sea, ice, and snowpack currently. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here, because I want to talk about, talk a little bit about snow this year. We're getting closer here. We're in fall, you know. Well, we've been in fall, meteorological fall for a while, but we're in astronomical fall now.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Okay. Let's go take a look at the northern hemisphere. Here's where we are right now. This is a lot of snowpack up here in Siberia and northern Russia. That's a lot of snowpack for September 28th, guys. I don't think we had like any snowpack last year at this time. Let's see. There's our snowpack last year at this time. Notice the difference? This affects this is going to affect our winter. Notice the difference? Notice there how much more snow's up there. Also notice the ice difference. Look at our ice last year, guys. Look how pathetic. Look at this big empty crater of no ice. Now watch now. Look where we're at. There's a lot more ice there. I want to compare Greenland as well. And I'll get to the point of why this is important for our snow projections. Look at North America here. Look at North America, and then let's go to now. Okay, a little bit up more in Alaska. Not as much right here, but for the most part, in the northern hemisphere, we are snowier, we are icier. Our global temperature this year is actually the lowest it's been in 4 years. We have close to record warm NPO, and we're entering a weak La Nina. I mean, you know, this isn't a perfect science, but there is potential. I tell you the truth, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. There is potential for a very, very cold winter for the United States with all these things. This big patch of ice right here that I just circled was not there this time of year last year. And I know that doesn't look big, but that's like a quarter the size of Alaska. I mean, not really, but it's a lot of ice. The sooner this ice links up here and this cold air is able to travel over the surface, and this cold air is able to travel over the surface here, you get the Canadian land cooling much quicker up here, and that allows for the transfer of cold air down into the states much easier, and that also creates a very unstable polar vortex. We all know what the polar vortex is, or at least we've heard of it. So winter lovers should be happy about this setup. B, what is going on? Dance Chick, I appreciate you. Jasmine, Lila, Pearly, Fossil. There's a lot of things pointing towards. A cold, snowy winter. Nothing's for sure though in weather, because we're trying to predict the future. But we're doing it in an educated way. Let me look here. Here's our monthly. Very interesting here. Look at this pressure. Look at this high pressure. Look at this high pressure that's being projected in our monthly mean sea level pressure anomaly here from the CFS model. This, if we were to get a high pressure built up like this in the Arctic, this would be an extreme polar vortex break. We would have Arctic air dumping into the lower 48 here in December. A lot of people would get a white Christmas, I think, if that happened. You're seeing it. You're seeing the beginnings of it in November. So lots of interesting stuff. Maybe even actually in October. Right now we got a pretty stable vortex up there though. It's not really, you don't really have much of a vortex until you're in winter. At least stratospheric polar vortex. How's the Phillies odds for winter this season? Oh, how's Phillies odds? I thought you were talking about the team. I'm like, what? It's going to be hit or miss. We have the setup for one or two big nor'easters. A couple big nor'easters this year. So, but you need to have the right thing happen. You need to have the right thing happen. You need...
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Let me go back here. You need... let me look at the latest. Let's go back to 12Z. Let's look at the GFS. They're going back and forth on this cold air entering second week of October. Oh, that's the 18Z. Let's look at the 12Z. 1 second, guys. 12Z. wants to keep the plains a little bit warm. Here, let me go back to what I was showing you guys here. I guess I'll just go into European weeklies. And let's look at what we were looking at before. I'll show you what we were looking at before. Here's what we need to happen. My daughter's screaming out there. My wife's probably getting her bottle, so sorry if you hear that. Could this potentially cancel my Thursday presentation for North Carolina? No. Listen, Humberto is pulling Imelda offshore. Humberto is stopping Imelda from making landfall. At least that's what it looks like it's going to happen. I lost my train of thought. We were talking about our polar vortex. We were talking about our weak La Nina jet stream. We were talking about a warm NPO. Oh, yeah, we were talking about the Mid-Atlantic Philly. We're going to have the setup for some potential nor'easters. But nor'easters are rare because of how complex they are. You need to have a jet stream that's becoming very amplified. As we have a storm system down here to link up with it to provide the moisture, the amplified jet stream provides the cold air, and then if we have a storm system moving across the Gulf or up out of the Western Atlantic, that'll provide the moisture. And then you need that moisture, that low pressure system, that storm system to ride, typically, right off the coast like this. And this used to happen like once every winter, once every other winter. We're in a little bit of a drought. It'll pick up. We could have 3 nor'easters this year. Sometimes you go on a snow drought. 5-year, 6-year snow drought isn't that long a drought in the grand scheme of things. You want a low pressure system to drive up the coast, something like this, because what that does is then it puts the entire east coast on the cold side. Say our low's here, and then this is the warm side. Why? Our low pressure systems rotate counterclockwise. Okay? Our cold air is going to be moving in from the west, and then our warm air is going to be cycling in front, and you're going to have, a warm shield out ahead of it. So you don't want the low pressure system to run up the coast like this, because then you have to be on this side. Anyone on the right side of that is going to get rain instead of snow. When you get a nor'easter, you get a nice amplified trough, and your storm system moves right off the coast like this, and it dumps a foot or 2 of snow along the coast, sometimes 3. With the setup we have, with our jet stream that is supposed to be set up like this, if we get a little bit of an amplified trough in here, which we'll get a couple, we just need a storm system to link up with it this year. And there's going to be, I think, multiple opportunities for that. So, if you're in the Mid-Atlantic, I think you're looking at a decent chance for a good nor'easter this year. Appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you. Liam, even Florida, are we talking about? What was that for? Oh, you're saying would the polar vortex affect Europe and Asia too? Yeah, an unstable polar vortex gives everyone a better chance of getting cold in the mid latitudes in the northern hemisphere. Florida, yeah, I mean you would the only way you get like significantly below average temperatures down in Florida is with the polar vortex break over winter, so it would affect Florida. But the southeast is usually warmer in a weak La Nina, but we don't know if it's going to be that for sure. Ham, I appreciate you. What is going on, Fossil? Yeah, no problem, Ashley. I'm parched. The sun in my face is making it worse. Do you think this winter could be colder than last winter? You see, that's tough because, well, the average of last winter wasn't that cold. But last winter, we had a very cold second half of December and a very cold January. This winter should start off much colder than last winter. I think we'll have a colder... I think there's a high chance we'll have a colder November and December than last year. Maybe even... January is going to be tough, though. Philly saw it's like 3rd coldest January in history last January, but it didn't get like basically any snow. Unfortunate. Yeah, it's weird. We call nor'easters rare now. There was a span there in the early 2000s where you got a nor'easter or 2 every year. That type of pattern will come back. It's just a little bit of luck. It's been a little bit unlucky for people who like those nor'easters up in the Northeast. But, we've been on a 5-6 year drought. That drought will end. We'll see some more nor'easters. This isn't supposed to wintry mix all across Texas in the... Wait. We don't know what precipitation-wise is going to happen in December. But you could have a cold December in Texas, below average temperature. temperature in December in Texas, especially northeastern Texas. Yeah. The southern hemisphere also has their version of the polar vortex. Yeah, it's just much weaker. Yeah, there's a polar vortex on both poles, but the northern hemisphere has a much more brutal winter because of the geography of the land. Yep. Going on a cruise in the Bahamas in 2 weeks. Well, these two systems that are down there right now won't affect you. I can tell you that. These won't affect you. These will be gone by then. But again, it's hurricane season. Another one bites the dust. All right, guys, give me 2 seconds. All right, I'll be right back. I need to get a drink. I need to get some water. This Red Bull isn't doing it for me. I'm too thirsty.
New information, this severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Chat, I'm back. I have a hat on. And I have water. All right. Whoa, I just lost like 150 people. What did I do? Did I say something wrong? No, Tufts. A nor'easter is not just a snowstorm.
Has been issued.
A nor'easter is not just a snowstorm. A nor'easter, I mean, it is a snowstorm, but they're like basically, they're like, people call them snow canes. They're like land snow hurricanes. Typically, like, to be classified as a nor'easter, you have a low pressure system that is typically very deep. I'm talking like 970, like a 960s, 970 millibar low pressure coming up the coast with an abundance of moisture. It's not to call it a snowstorm is not to, in my opinion, classify it right. We're not talking about a 990,000 millibar clipper system that drops 6 inches to a foot of snow. We're talking about nor'easters generally drop feet of snow along the coast. I mean, Philly had one, I think early 2010s, that dropped 32 inches of snow in like 24 hours. Like, I don't know. To classify, yeah, it's a snowstorm, but nor'easters are extremely powerful low pressure systems, way more powerful than anything else you see over land. I mean, they typically will have this a central pressure that's as strong as like a category 2, category 3 hurricane, but it's over land. Yes, you do use that word nor'easter in New York. Believe me, they use it. My uncle's a meteorologist in New York. They use that word. Can I zoom in on Augusta, Georgia? Sure. There she is. Got a little bit of some outer bands moving in there. Not really outer bands, but some, you know, some of this tropical moisture being pushed in right out to your east. Oh, I see what you mean. I was gonna say they definitely, yeah. It's like saying Baltimore, huh? You don't say it. Yeah. Oh my God, what happened to my neck? Sorry, I got this kink in my neck and it's hurting so bad. Oh my gosh. And if you're wondering why I'm being blinded by light right now, it's because I moved into a new house and our blinds haven't been put up yet. Okay, eventually they will be. But yeah.
New information. This severe
to anyone who,
warning.
Okay, there are severe thunderstorm warnings that I'm going to talk about real quick. There's not too many. Category 4, Hurricane Humberto here. Very strong hurricane, 145 mile per hour winds, 937 millibar pressure. Wild. What's happening here? Well, Humberto's moving up to the north. Imelda's moving up to the north. Tropical Storm Imelda. And as they get close enough, Humberto out here to the right, to the east, is going to pull Imelda away from making landfall. And that's why models were wrong. This hurricane is larger. It's stronger, and it's closer to Imelda than originally projected. And it's going to yank Imelda away. I had talked about this early on, saying there's a small chance that Humberto ends up pulling Imelda away, or it gets close enough to kind of Fujiwara affect it and weaken Imelda so much that it's just a rainstorm as it moves in. So we always knew this was a possibility, but there wasn't a high probability of it. Also because we've never seen this happen before. 2 hurricanes riding up the coast side by side, and then one stopping the other one from making a landfall. It's very rare. I want to say it's never happened before, at least since in the last 100 years. Just like this. But yeah, so that's why the cone of uncertainty yesterday or 2 days ago was up here, and now it's suddenly out here, because Humberto's going to get close enough and it's going to pull it. People probably got tired of waiting. I did make a winter prediction video. Yes. Yeah. Whoa, Pam. Was I away when you sent that? Chasing the dream. Pam, I appreciate you. Thanks so much, Pam. Sometimes the GIFs play right in my chat, and sometimes they don't. It's just TikTok Studios buggy, I think. Anyways, yeah, we were talking about snow. Listen, it's fall. We can talk about snow, right? I mean, I've been talking about snow way before it got to fall, but... Okay, fam. All right, let me see here. Guys, you block people before I even see what mean stuff they say. Good job. Confused Blonde, Morgan Marissa. Yeah, this is the latest European. This is where it thinks we could have snow on the ground before November 13th. Again, I'll say it. This is not what it's going to look like. This is a far out extended projection from the European. But if you understand how cold the beginning of our winter is supposed to be, you look at this and say, oh, yeah, that's a possibility. Especially with, again, with how warm the North Pacific is. We're expecting a little bit of extra snow and a little bit of extra cold air in the beginning of winter. Not even in the beginning of winter, in fall. This would be in fall. Appreciate the follow. Appreciate the follow. I mean, we're going to stay warm for a little bit longer here. We got another couple of weeks of annoying ridging out through the plains and for most of the U.S., but we're expecting a pretty big ridge to set up over Alaska in October, and that might signal the major flip for a little bit of a cold streak down here in the States. Oh, it wasn't me, just spam. Bring the cold, I know. Oh my gosh, this light, guys. I can't with the light. Oh my gosh. This would be wild, though, getting some snow down into... this is... you know... Does our... I want to look at something really quickly. I want to look at something. I want to look at something. Our Google DeepMind, can it do temperatures? Sea surface temperatures. That's what it can do. But it's still not measuring it. I just wanted to see if this was capable. Gencast. No. Okay. You'd expect, especially central to northern Ohio, to have a good snow year this year. We'll see what happens in southern Ohio. You don't want snow in October? We'll see what happens. There's not going to be much snow in the beginning of October, especially. I mean, maybe some up in the Rockies. We've got a nice trough moving down into the Rockies to kick off October, so. Yeah. I might have to get off now and get back on a little bit because the light is burning my eyeballs, guys. Why don't I get off right now and get back on around my normal time, 9 o'clock Central. 3.5 hours. I love snow, but I ain't trying to bring a baby home and snow. Yeah, true. Yeah, guys, I'll get back on my normal time, 9 p.m. Central tonight. And we'll probably have some more updates on the tropics. And I want to have some fun looking at some more of these changes to winter. Because I plan on putting out an updated winter forecast video in October. And God, that reminds me of my training videos. Oh my God, I have so much to do. But so we can review some stuff live. That'll help me for, you know, I got to look at all this stuff anyways for my updated winter forecast, and we'll do it together tonight. Try to see what exactly it's coming, Tufts. I know. All right, I'll be back on at 9 p.m. Central. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the new follows. Yeah, and for anyone who's in here, I do have a Discord. It's a really awesome weather Discord. You get all the information you need. Tons of awesome stuff in there. And it's free right now. It won't be free forever, but all you got to do is add me. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Literally my name. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Just add me on Discord. I'll make you a member of the Climate Crew. You can check out the Discord. Ask me questions off stream. Stuff like that. I'll be back on at 9. I post videos every single day about the weather in the United States. What's coming up. Outlooks. Winter stuff. Tropical stuff. All the stuff. Severe weather stuff. And I stream 5 days a week. So I'll be back on at 9 o'clock, and we're gonna dive into more specifics of this winter, because I think our big pattern flip is gonna be mid-October now, and that's when we will be entering our week La Nina in 2 to 3 weeks in October. That's gonna be a major development for our weather in the United States. We're gonna see a lot of things change. So we'll be back on later, and we're gonna talk about that. All right. I'll be back on at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, 8 Mountain Time, 7 Pacific. Oh God, that shouldn't have taken me so long to figure out. All right, maybe I'll see you.
New information.
See ya.
This flash flood warning has been updated.